So after these Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder negotiations have fallen through, and Wilder has rejected Anthony Joshua's second offer at a fight, Dominic Breazeale has all of a sudden come out and started speaking about himself fighting Deontay Wilder. Surprise, surprise. Some people will say this was Deontay Wilder's team's intention all along, was just to use Anthony Joshua as a means of gaining more publicity, but they only had the intention of fighting Dominic Breazeale the whole time. Some people will make that argument. Now, what has Dominic Breazeale been saying? I'm going to quote him here, people. He says, "I've paid close attention to Deontay's last 3 fights, and I've seen a lot more weaknesses than I've seen strengths, particularly when he has someone hurt. When you smell blood, you're supposed to go in for the kill, but his fundamental skills aren't there and he falls apart. With his big, wild, looping shots, Deontay is so unorthodox that it's not even funny. It's almost like a circus act. Strength-wise, we all know he's got a big right hand. But at the same time, I don't know if he's ever knocked anybody down or knocked anybody out who has been tested or has a chin." Sitting at ringside and watching what Gerald was able to do with Deontay for the first couple of rounds, I definitely knew at that point that I could beat Deontay. I was literally chomping at the bit. I thought maybe the first round was a flaw. But when round 2 came, Gerald was still doing it. I was thinking that when I get my opportunity against Deontay, it's going to be an easier day at the office than it was against Izzu or Molina. Deontay is very awkward, which is crazy knowing that he's gotten so far being a former US Olympic bronze medalist in 40 professional fights and doesn't really have any fundamental skills. You would think that he would be more under control when he's gotten somebody hurt, but he's almost like a street fighter in there. You get a lot of people making fun of the heavyweight champion of the world. You also have individuals who don't even know who he is. That's because of the fact that his art is not as honed as it should be, if that makes sense. I believe that what he weighed for Luis Ortiz at 214 pounds, you're 14 pounds away from fighting at cruiserweight. So there is no way in hell that you should be getting any respect from anybody who is above 230 pounds. I respect anybody who goes into the ring, but when you're talking about me at 6'7", 250, or Anthony Joshua at 6'6", 254, those are 2 big, heavy-handed guys who get respect the first time that they hit somebody in the first or second round. Deontay has shown me nothing that I go into the gym worrying about. It just seems like Deontay Wilder, time and time again, has been getting lucky to land that right hand because he's just been lucky to fight guys who haven't had their chins truly tested. So those are the words of Dominic Breazeale. Now, respectfully, Dominic Breazeale is a tough guy, but I have to disagree with a lot of the things he said there, particularly when he says Deontay Wilder is lucky to land this right hand over and over again. Well, he says he's lucky to be in there with guys who haven't had their chins truly tested. I think he has been in with guys who have had their chins tested. Certainly, Duopa is a guy who's had his chin tested. I would say Stavern has also had his chin tested. And Deontay Wilder, well, you saw what he did to both those guys. And there's nothing lucky about Deontay Wilder constantly landing this right hand. He's clearly got a skill. If it was happening once in a blue moon that he would land this right hand, then you could see it was luck. But when he's doing it consistently, fight after fight after fight, even when he's behind or when he's struggling, but yet he manages to land the right hand, that is a skill. So, yeah, I disagree there with Dominic Breazeale that Wilder is lucky. No, he's skilled at landing the right hand. Yes, he's unorthodox, but there is some method to the madness. As far as him going crazy and losing his boxing construct when he gets somebody hurt, that does happen. But there's a channel that I watch, Chris Andre. He's a channel that I watch, and he's talked about the fact that When Deontay Wilder starts going wild with all these crazy swinging shots, when you're hurt, that's actually an advantage for him because he's throwing so many shots from so many unorthodox angles that it overwhelms you. And when you're hurt, I mean, it's hard enough knowing where the shots are coming from when Wilder is swinging like that when you're not hurt. But when you're hurt as well, it's so overwhelming for this guy to be raining down shots on you from all kind of crazy angles at this frenetic pace. You are really in no position to be countering. You're just thinking about survival because you don't know where the shots are coming from. The guy's throwing a million shots. He's fast. It's wild. And yeah, in a certain sense, that's actually an advantage for Deontay Wilder a lot of the time. So yes, Wilder does look like a street fighter, and he has a street fighter's mentality. This is something Dominic Breazeale has said there, that Wilder looks like a street fighter at times in there. He does. He does look like, he looks like someone that you would watch on World Star Hip Hop fighting in the street. But it's effective, you know. I do like Dominic Breazeale's confidence though, obviously. He's got a personal beef with Deontay Wilder, which started actually after the Gerald Washington fight because Dominic Breazeale was on the undercard of Wilder Washington. So they've got a personal beef. I respect Dominic Breazeale as just a very, very tough human being, you know, mentally tough, particularly. And he can take a shot. He's been down in fights, but he can take a shot. He gets back up. He's got a massive heart. So I respect him. Do I expect him to beat Deontay Wilder? I don't think so. Dominic Breazeale, as big and strong as he is, and he can punch, he is painfully slow. I mean, this guy is slow as molasses. So somebody as athletically gifted as Deontay Wilder, somebody that fast, who can cover so much ground in the ring so quickly, Dominic Breazeale should be a sitting duck. One thing Breazeale has to do is make his jab an issue against Wilder. But ultimately, I see it being similar to the Johann Duopa fight. And Duopa's got quicker feet than Dominic Breazeale. He can't, I mean, in terms of punching power, Breazeale's probably heavier handed than Johann Duopa. But Duopa is in better shape. I think he's quicker on his feet. Breazeale might be stronger than Duopa. Probably is. Probably hits harder. But will he be able to walk Deontay down any more effectively? I have my doubts. So, anyway, I don't think it's a bad fight, Breazeale versus Wilder, so it's definitely a fight I'll watch. But it is Anthony Joshua's leftovers, isn't it? So we'll have to compare Deontay Wilder's performance against Dominic Breazeale to Joshua's performance. And look, boxing is chess, it ain't checkers. Just because Deontay Wilder, let's say Deontay Wilder struggles with Breazeale, and he doesn't beat Breazeale as easily as Joshua did. That doesn't necessarily mean Wilder can't beat Joshua, because boxing is chess, it ain't checkers. It's rock, paper, scissors. You know, styles make fights and all that. But at the same time, you do start to notice a pattern. Because if he struggles with Breazeale, well, he also struggled with Molina, right? And those are two people that Anthony Joshua handled with ease. So we'll see what happens, but let me know what you think in the comment section below. Deontay Wilder, Dominic Breazeale, and again, as soon as the negotiations are done, all of a sudden, Dominic Breazeale's name pops up again. I remember, the WBC haven't called Breazeale as a mandatory. This ain't like the Povetkin situation, because Povetkin was called as a mandatory several weeks ago. And Eddie Hearn was having to ask for constant extensions and extensions and extensions in order to allow him more time to negotiate with Wilder's team for a Joshua Wilder unification. But that's not the case with Breazeale. The WBC haven't formally called Breazeale as a mandatory. You know, they haven't said, right, you've got to fight Breazeale by this date. You've got a month to negotiate. After that, it goes to... The WBC ain't said that yet. So there's no pressure on Wilder. He himself has said there's no pressure on him right now to fight Dominic Breazeale. So what, is it just a coincidence that Breazeale all of a sudden pops up again and starts talking about Wilder just a couple of days after Wilder rejected Anthony Joshua's latest offer? It's not a coincidence. Remember, Wilder and Breazeale are both Al Heyman fighters. They both know what time it is. So anyway, drop your comments in the comment section below. Let me know how you feel about this particular matchup. How do you think it will go? Let me know what you think about the things that Dominic Breazeale has said. He says pretty much the same things that most people say when they're criticizing Deontay Wilder, that he's wild, he's got no technique, and they talk about his physical size, that he's not really strong, you know, he's 14 pounds away from fighting at cruiserweight. That's what Breazeale said. But as I've said in previous videos, I think people underestimate Deontay Wilder's physical strength because of the fact that once he gets that adrenaline rush, he's tremendously strong. I think he's as strong as anybody out there when he gets that adrenaline rush. And he gets that adrenaline rush a lot in his fights. When he hurts you, he gets some crazy adrenaline rush where he can start throwing around 240-pound men like they're ragdolls. So, anyway, let me know how you feel about this. It's happening. I'm out.